Okay. You know, the every time I see that Craig robot, we're looking at a deal inside of HQ Express where um, we're looking at financing a robotic rollout. The one group that's being incubated there is a robot developer. They do, kind of industrial robots that unfortunately replace people, but they need what they need is capital to kind of fund the leasing program for those businesses that take it on. So they're like 150, 200 employee. Like for example, one's a bottling company and things like that. And then these machines are smart machines that replace kind of human activity, and then put it onto like an Internet of Things, in the workplace is pretty cool, um, and that about that whole section there with the brick that's being exposed, where
Yeah.
that's going in is um, that whole front face there is all going to be glass, which is pretty neat because then you can see the robots.
Well,
So
I'm
it's
I'm
pretty cool.
really I'm really hoping you guys got some good before pictures in that room, because that was like something out of the movie Saw. The before picture. Um,
Yeah, and now
like
with the
nightmare.
yeah, now with the brick all exposed and the ceilings all high, and yeah, it's really really cool. It's really turning out neat. But what I was thinking was, aside from Craig the robot reminding me of that, what I was thinking was it makes a really interesting NFT, because if you create the lease opportunity and offer it to club members and to other players who want to get involved in this NFT, kind of like the staking side of things, you could tie it to the future lease payments, the payout over time of these, which are clearly credit-worthy companies that have been around for a long time. I mean, 150, 200 employees is pretty solid, and those each one of those robots deploys for a few $100,000. But it's just like in that space where it's not big enough for the big players, and it's too confusing for credit unions and so forth. So perfect for us.
Yeah,
But
you
anyway,
remember
so that's
we ran into that in the first warehouse purchase. Thinking, hey, here's a 250,000 square feet. It's be a lot of fun to roll this out to a new manufacturing facility, only to find out they have like single floors and vibrations and a whole bunch of other things that didn't work. So, but but just wild when it all comes together.
yeah.
The timing works just right, right?
Yeah, for sure. Um, anyway, so as far as updates go, we are busy on the acquisition side. So there's a lot of new tech rolling out here that you'll see being integrated over the next few days. And we've got the website update, which we're expecting to go live for the club website, I think, by the end of the week, Bo.
Yeah, so I had a clarifying call on that today. We will have that done by the end of the week. But what we're going to start to do is share some of the white papers and everything with everybody on here. I was tempted to share the test link right now, but I don't want to. I don't want to go out before it's all completely tested and done and get people confused. I know right now that that's not what we're looking for. So we will have that up by Friday. And I know that I'm usually the one that's saying no deadlines, but I'm gonna hold us to Friday. So
Well, I guess if it's your deadline, it's a different story. It's
it's
just when
well, that's true.
you feel like you're not in control, then you're like, yeah. Um, Okay, great. So we've got all that rolling out, and as far as the acquisition side, we've got a couple of really good, partnerships that we're in the process of closing, and we had mentioned before some other movie projects and stuff too. So you'll see all that start to roll out. We're a few days in now to the upgrades to the NFTX, and that's going to be pretty big as well. So we're excited about that. It opens the door for lazy minting and a whole bunch of other neat features back and forth between OpenSea and our exchange. So we'll start to really push on that soon. As far as tech rate goes, there were probably 3 or 4 emails answered today. Most of them regarding the the exchange and opening these wallets, which we expect to also have completed here by the end of the week, possibly overnight, but I'm not going to say overnight. So
No. I can say it. We just went over the rules.
yeah, so we're hoping that opens up, and when that happens, then you'll also get those other functions on the exchange too, because that means that there was a reset. So then we'll be able to get those P&L download options and all that stuff, jumping. It'll also increase our wallet holders significantly on Etherscan, so that'll be interesting for AWRT. And we're in the process of a project that's going to also add some massive social media to what we're doing. So
to just to clarify for some people, so I know that sometimes that can seem vague. We are getting some feedback from some of the early folks that we talked to, who connect us, in a lot of ways with the family offices and different things, and they're in their test driving some of this stuff now and saying, hey, look, there's a few things functionally that we need to do, and then we can start to bring in more and more folks into the exchange and be able to really start to build liquidity and a lot of drivers. They're also going to bring with them a lot of the tokens that they're enthusiastic about, and that'll bring in of course more people who are also enthusiastic about those tokens.
Well, yeah, and if we can break out some time and get to NYC, then I think, and I was trying to get them to actually come to us, and I think we dropped the ball today. I didn't reach out. We need to, but if we decide we want to get up there, if we can fit it in our schedule, there's about 200,000 executives from family offices all over the world who are part of a network that I think we can have a really, really interesting club relationship with here. So, from what I can tell, they want to do a deal, and it's just a matter of getting together. And I was trying to get them to our little warehouse here in PA, but we'll see. They seem game, but we might have to wind up just meeting in New York City and doing the I don't know. I dread like a dinner or a lunch or something, but
Well, I don't know the last time you were in New York City, but they, without getting too deep down this rabbit hole, but they've basically pulled all of the indoor dining outside, and they've built walls and ceilings and air conditioning and heating systems and windows. It's gotten to the point where, like, at what point does outside become inside? So that's how you have to eat in New York now. So it's
forget it. That's I'm not doing that. So like, he should come down here and play with the robots with us, and we'll do that instead. That'll be much more fun. All right, cool. So that settles that. So and that'll be a great addition to the club. So we'll work hard to make that happen, sooner rather than later too, because that just is. It's exciting, and as far as new tokens, post HQ Express and Velocity, which are slated to be among the next issuances that AWB holders will enjoy. And I say among because there's others, and that's because of M&A activity. But we aren't announcing that yet. That's forthcoming soon. So, keep your eyes and ears open. But being an AWB holder will pay off again here shortly, and those projects are really, really exciting. Like I said about Velocity, we closed a deal this week. Was it this week or the beginning of the week over the weekend? I don't know.
No, it was yesterday. Believe it or not.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
that means that means we're having way too many conversations and doing too much. I'm thinking, was that last week? It was yesterday.
No, that was yesterday.
Anyway, so what that gives us is access to a great potential new museum where we are the lead. We're the exclusive, right? I think we're the exclusive NFT and crypto provider for that entire project. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what you're going to start to see, everybody, is more, um, well,
Communication.
yeah, well, not just communication, but more clarity on these projects. So as they come in, it doesn't just it doesn't just go into the archives or the library. You'll see as we start to put up these microsites and different things as to what we're doing, and the intention behind it. Each one of these things, whether it's supercars, retro games, films, entertainment, art, all of those have the ability to bring in massive communities. And really, that's what this is about. It's about building a large community, and then allowing that large community to then become self-ruling and self-regulating. Right? That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
And
So the project that we did yesterday, to just before you get off the topic of supercars, is a great NFT overlap. So some of the tech that we're talking to now in AR that can make, these cars appear in your living room for you, which those are deals we'll explain, hopefully soon. But these guys are cutting edge, and you can imagine the overplay or the overlap there between, museum for supercars and cars of that ilk, and just the building of them, and everything else. I mean, there's a Bizzarini Ferrari, um, design in there that we're going to have the certified. Um, it's the certified prototype, of a beautiful Bizzarini, model Ferrari. That'll be a $25 million back end, $3 million build. So we're not talking about like the Lambo or the Ferrari we already have, right? We're talking about big time following, international level interest, one of a kind car, that you're going to want one of the NFTs for, and an entire museum of them. And again, our club is the exclusive crypto and NFT lead for the whole thing. It's going to be in Vegas. The build will definitely happen because it's so. I mean, it's nothing compared to like even the cars they're talking about. Just beautiful, opportunity. So that's a velocity play, and that's the type of stuff that we're doing, with the auto concierge. So very cool, kind of, project there. But like Bo said, the concept is obviously to decentralize and democratize as we move forward too. But we're doing what we do, which is the M&A activity in the venture cap. So that's a project that's already funded. Of course, we've got the movies that are coming out, the performance and so forth, and those NFTs. But we're also doing our own metaverse and AR mixed reality build. So
yeah, well,
all
like
that
we've
is
always talked about, and I don't want to assume that everybody on here is a veteran, to these. So, I mean, AWB, we will likely stay, very keyed into, for forever. But as these other projects come and go, and those things really have the ability to take on full lives of their own, right?
sure they'll spin out on their own with phenomenal management teams. The guy on the Velocity project, this museum with the Ferrari. That management team is like a who's who. Like the one guy's like the guy who got Paul Newman into racing. It's like
Yeah,
and I think
and the
I
one
think
car is like
Bizzarini
a
himself is
partner that.
still alive.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the one car we're talking about was designed by Enzo's partner, right? So
Yeah.
just wild. I mean, that is going to be a really fun project just to be able to point people to look at. It's just really cool names, really fun,
Well,
autos and things.
imagine when you make the entire museum, appear before it's even built, through an overland build out, right in Vegas.
Yeah,
I mean, we can actually build this on the land before it even breaks ground. That's
yep,
how that's the power of mixed reality AR and the VR, that we're working with now. And that's the future, right? It's going to be awesome. And then, somebody could actually get the NFT for the Bizzarrini and, throw that in their driveway and look at it and walk around, Granted, right now the tech is like on your phone or something, but people are promising glasses soon. The future is really bright on that side of things, and where that meets business is really beautiful. That's where HQ Express comes in, and geolocating, your the different assets and opportunities inside that building. So very cool.
So,
Build there.
so to that end, as part of building out the NFT exchange and things, the geishas and bulls have made it onto the Discord section under the NFT exchange. What we're doing there is we're just building out more art and more features, more things, so that when people come, we don't have it's not just blank at the moment. But there, Alfonso, do you want to speak more to that point on those two projects in particular?
Yeah, well, what we're doing is playing with playing with generators and so forth too. So there and acquiring where we can acquire. So there's different collections and stuff out there that are some of the opportunities that and some of the build that we're doing in the metaverse. So we could see some characters, for example, like our own Mad Hatters, that can be 3D modeled characters that can drop into the metaverse and be used, or can be art and badges and so forth. But that's kind of how we're looking at the NFT build out too in these collections. And going down that space route, is part of where we wanted to go. Part of project, part of the entire Wonderland and Looking Glass, project involves space and other dimensions. So it's a pretty cool addition to what we're building out here. So you'll see a whole lot more of that as we move forward, and some of those will be artists that are staying on with us as well to develop more things. And that's the case for these two as well. So I believe that this is going to probably be a longer term relationship, and you'll see a lot more tech coming out of these groups. But
Too,
it's
I mean, yeah, as we drop these projects, there will be each one of, well, most of them are going to have their own microsites and things that people can go and look and feel. And again, the whole idea here is to build big communities around exciting projects.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So that's but again, I mean, the whole point here is we want to build the tools for everybody to be able to make money, right? So buying and reselling the the NFTs, things that you win and you can post. There'll be early mintings and drops that you'll be able to get your hands on assets that you'll be able to make some money on as well. So that's that whole crypto lifestyle side of what we're building. So that's all part of it. And of course, the overall build out, and the mergers, that we're doing to pick up social media as well. So you'll see a lot of changes here over the next week, because we've been really busy, and a lot of cool new opportunities for our loyal members to be able to even pick up new assets that I had mentioned some a little bit. I guess I teased a little bit about. Those things will be released a little differently than the usual drop. So usually we'll say, okay, well, here's the record date, and everybody who's an AWB holder as of that date is going to be able to get X amount of these tokens. But some of these in the M&A side of things are a little different. They're not just straight up development for dividends. These are these are a little different, and so when we do those, we'll probably open them up first to again to our are loyal members, and that means people who not only are holders of either one or both AWB or AWRT, but also have been active and in acquiring more, and have been proactive and being positive for the club and so forth. So so these are opportunities. When we say loyal, we mean loyal, and we know what it means. So I don't think we need to define it, but I think you get the point. So the people who are with us and everybody who's rowing in the same direction is just a way that we're going to move forward and be able to reward you, with something of what we think is some big time value.
Yeah.
So
one of the other things too, and I don't want to gloss over it, but I spoke with one of the members in their charity today, which brought up just a bunch of great points. But I think we'll be helping in a large project. We won't get into the details tonight because we still haven't finalized it. But in building another children's home, and building a NFT project and launch around that. That I think is. Well, I don't think it is definitely a worthy cause at a righteous time. To help out people who need help in the worst way. This is like a widows and orphans project. So,
oh, good. Okay, that sounds great. So let's brief that and get it going.
Yeah. It's just a matter of getting some site plans and some budgets tightened up, and then once we have that, we will be on that.
That's awesome. Okay, good. So also, as far as the trip, so obviously we'll be down in Miami. We want 2 people to come with us, a winner and a guest. So everybody who buys the members only NFT, those are numbered, and a number will be drawn for the winner. So it's just going to be random. You can buy as many as you want for your chances to win, and they'll be limited to. I think we're limiting the total collection to 500.
That's right.
But the other interesting thing about it is we're going to use all of these NFTs. So like the members, the stuff that are kind of like members badges, and your Genesis tokens and so forth will all give you weight when it comes to priority in the amount of new issuances available to you, or the amount of new buys that are given to you early at major discounts and things of that nature. So, so having the full package of these things is important as well. And eventually you'll be able to display it, too. So it's one of these things that
this brings up something for me that we've been kind of going round and round in strategy, but I'd like to open it up for a little bit and take a look at the comment section afterward about how people, so we've gone round and round on just sending these badges, the ranking and membership badges to people. But we've also talked about them being, people will jockey up and down in position. But we want to make sure that when we do that, we're not outing anybody. So if people would prefer to use their handle or use some other name, if you got suggestions on that, I'm wide open.
I think you're talking about on the founders badge for AWRT. Yeah.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we will be rewarding by rank in that group. So I mean, we could just do it by wallet number, or something too. So we could always do it that way.
And people would know what their representative. I mean, yeah, I'd be curious to see if there's any ideas on that front. Handles, what have you. So yeah, we won't let it hold everything up. I'm just saying.
My idea is just to put everybody's name out.
Yeah, that's my point.
And then you can. I don't know. I mean, but but I think ultimately too, like again, like these ranks. So the founders badge is something that will also give you utility, but in the short term here, one of the easy ways to get to Miami, to get that $15,000 trip. You get the suite, you get the tickets to the yacht party and all the other kind of cool stuff.
The Marlins game, tickets to the event.
Yeah,
You would have dinner with us.
Yeah, plus a flight in and all that. So, you might as well pick up an NFT and enter into the drawing, because it's going to be a good time. At the very least, it'll be pretty interesting. And we're not even sure who among us is gonna speak, but I don't know. That's another thing. You can put your hand up if you want to go down and talk for the club too. Yeah. So that's a whole other. If one of you,
Wait,
if anybody on the call is a phenomenal speaker, I know Bo. I know you are, Bo, but
people have heard me. Is there no? That's what pro sports needs right now. Another season off. I don't think baseball would ever start again if they were to go on strike again.
Yeah. Well. Anyway. Okay. So I think that's it. Is there any other questions? I don't know. Let's get on that new charity for sure. And
well, I'm even thinking, just as a way of projects and things going forward. I know we have the charitable wallet, but I'd like to have a whole section in the NFT exchange just for charitable projects and things that people can get behind. One of the things that's common practice in the old world, right, is that people say, hey, look, I'm going to donate all of these stocks that I don't believe in anymore to the charities, and then let them liquidate and take it. There's an idea in my head, that you could kick something like that around. I mean, not that you want to be a graveyard for old tokens, but functionally.
You remind me of like when I first started out and I was working as a broker. One of my clients did that every year, and it was never the good stuff. It was always like the stuff at the very bottom of the the portfolio, and it was like, how are these guys going to ever move that? I always felt bad like coordinating it, but so part of but that makes sense, from a perspective of having an opportunity for a mechanism whereby the general public, even outside the club, can donate these tokens into a pooled fund for the charitable activity. Why not? I wonder if we could get one of the 501c3s to step up, and and maybe we could even value these things, especially if they're coming on the market, and we could even give a deduction, right? Why couldn't we?
Well, that's what I was thinking. If we then became the exchange that allows people to go, crypto into NFTs into charitable giving, at the day it's received from a value perspective, then that's a really interesting proposition, I would think.
That is interesting. Okay, yeah, we'll put that on the whiteboard, and let's see what comes of it. Because I think from a functional standpoint, we could certainly do it. I mean, it's just a matter of bandwidth and advertising and making sure people know that it's working. But like I said,
the other thing we did discuss today too. I'm sorry, not to cut you off, but on that front, was they're going to be signing GiveBucks up as their to do some work there with them. Of course, then they get to share that with their folks, and GiveBucks then gets to share it as well, and then we get to share that we connected them. And there's a lot of cross.
Where? What do you mean? Where? Who is?
So this charity.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah,
the one that we're talking about. Okay,
correct.
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
So then, in other words, then there's a lot of cross pollination between and connectivity between the deal and the charity, and of course one of our partners.
Well, then I think also too, like just getting GiveBucks down into South America makes a ton of sense, because we certainly know that we can use them in Venezuela, and we know that we can use them all over the place. So I think that having GiveBucks out there, kind of even from a almost like evangelizing, out there, so people can get paid and stay alive. That makes a ton of sense. So,
all right. Well, okay. Yeah, Papa J, I'm not sure they're going to do that, but don't forget to email me some of the stuff we talked about earlier in the week. If you could. If you did already, just ping me because I didn't see it.
yes. All right.
All
So,
right, everybody.
any other questions? If there isn't, we'll have a more detailed AMA on Friday. We've got like I said, we've got a ton of things going on. Lots of acquisitions, and we've done a lot of VC work over the last few days. Keep an eye out for the announcements. But we're also going to be formalizing, how some of these announcements are put out there. So part of it is the cleanup with the new website, coming for the club this week, by the end of this week and stuff. Then I think we'll have a little bit more focused delivery, methods, and then we're also going to be doing a little bit more on the press, because again, like things like the Bizzarini Ferrari and these types of build outs, that's a $25 million project just for the car, let alone the museum. So these are press worthy. So we're going to start that process, now that the club website's going to be looking good, at the end of the week. Not that it doesn't look good now, but it's going to look less utilitarian and more more next level. So I think that's going to open up the door for us to really start to push, and that push will be into the new NFT exchange build out, and a ton of new announcements with some major partners, like this Velocity one, in particular as well. So it's going to be exciting, and we'll start to be a whole lot more proactive with the press, as well, because these most of these people are out there, putting out press for nonsense. This is a one of a kind, car that's that our club has the exclusive crypto and NFT relationship for the entire museum, and that includes an entire I don't know if you know this, Bo, but that includes an entire documentary.
Yeah.
Total certification by Bizzarini and all these. It's just very cool. All the way down the line, like it's like a perfect NFT project, and we can have this thing in our metaverse, and people can have limited editions of them in different colors on their in their wallets, which is going to be cool. So
Flopalopolis is going to turn this thing into like a rat car, and
yeah. Anyway, okay, awesome. So we're excited, guys, and it's this is the very beginning. I know it feels like we've been at this a little bit, but really, this is now everything's about to start. So we're excited, and that's fundamental. I don't mean we're like going to start because we're going to some conference or something. That's kind of tertiary. The reality is that it's going to start because the fundamental, VC work and M&A work is paying off. So you'll see those announcements come out, and you'll see what happens to the social media side of things that we're working on as well. So all of that plays together, and and we come, and like I said, everybody rowing in the same direction. We'll make this crypto lifestyle a reality for all of you. So that's the goal. All right, guys.
All right. Talk to you on Friday. Oh, and Mario and them are having another AMA tomorrow. I'll send out the invite to everybody who doesn't know where that is. I think they might be doing it on Zoom. But we'll make sure we get it out there.
Have a good one.